Hi everybody, this is Lydia here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Today, I just wanted to organize what I needed to do for the day and also physically organize my life a little bit. So that included organizing my workspace, my current workspace. So I appreciate you tagging along and going to be a part of this. I hope you enjoy. Here, I'm just writing a list of different things I want to do artistically in the near future. Some of that includes ceramic miniatures. I spent 2 semesters in college taking a ceramics class, and while we focused a lot more on throwing on the wheel, I also really enjoyed exploring hand building. And while I don't have a wheel at my disposal now that I'm out of school, I do have some clay left over from those classes, and I'm really enjoying hand building little creatures. I've always liked animals, and so I have a list to do a little bit more of that. I also wanted to explore some with resin. I had never, and still have not, experienced resin, but I recently got married and I wanted to preserve my bouquet permanently and be able to have it for the rest of my life. And so I did some research and bought the bare necessities of resin or needed to preserve things with resin, and so I look forward to experimenting with that soon. Currently my flowers are drying, that way they won't rot. And then I also wanted to do some experimenting with watercolor minis. The other day I had a friend who came over and we watched some Netflix and had the goal in mind to make watercolor bookmarks, and out of that I did a little painting that just looked like a little miniature painting and not necessarily the dimensions that would be needed for a bookmark, and I absolutely love it, and I'd like to do a little bit more of that. I think that's something that a lot of people would enjoy. I know I really enjoy small pieces of work. Then I also want to explore more with linoleum prints. I did a little bit of experimenting with linoleum prints in college, but I never had a class in it. I just had an assignment for my 2-dimensional class, and I ended up using linoleum prints. And so I have a little bit of experiment with it, and I recently bought some more supplies, and I really want to try and divulge that aspect of it. I really like the idea of being able to create my own stamps and be able to reuse them. Then here you're seeing my workspace. It's an absolute mess. This is called combining 2 households. Like I mentioned, I got recently married, and I just have stuff everywhere. There's my art stuff, there's my husband's stuff. He really enjoys hunting, and so a lot of his tools as he's prepping up for the season in the fall. Then we also have 2 puppies, and so I've got all of their things around. And so here I'm just organizing my workspace. I get stressed when I'm disorganized, and I think a lot better when I'm able to have a clear space where I know where everything is and it's all in easy access. And so here you just have a little bit of a time lapse. You can see that I have some resin. Those are the materials that I bought in the Hobby Lobby bag there to the left. I have some linoleum tools, and I've got some watercolor and colored pencils, and I'm just organizing my process. You'll see in a little bit I bring out a little art cart that my husband got me for Christmas, and it's extremely disorganized. It's packed with all sorts of things, and so I really wanted to organize it with the tools and mediums and media that I'm going to be actively using for the time being. And so I pulled that around, and I just decided to take it one thing at a time, take all of it out and reorganize it with whatever I needed in the front and easy access. So I hope you have some fun watching me process and organize all of these random things. As you can see here, I've got a lot of things packed onto this cart. Some of those things included different bowls that I use for when I'm painting to hold water. I tend to enjoy, depending on the medium I'm using, I enjoy having 2 to 3 bowls of water just so that I can make sure my brushes are thoroughly cleaned before I choose a new paint. I also have quite a couple different types of paint on here. I had gouache, oil, acrylic, watercolor. A lot of it were different packs that I had been given for gifts for Christmas or birthdays. I also have my markers. These markers I recently have gotten into. I never was able to do them, but I was gifted Arteza markers about 2 years ago, and they're something that I've absolutely loved to use now. You also see some art books. There was that one from the Louvre, and I enjoy having art books for inspiration or challenges randomly. I enjoy grabbing an art book, flipping to a random page, and trying to recreate a masterpiece in my own style. I'd love to do a video on that sometime. Let me know if y'all would be interested in that. I also have different tools that I would use for collage. I randomly enjoy doing collage pieces, so I have an old book that accidentally got destroyed or damaged, and so I use the paper from it to do collage with pieces. Here I'm doing a little bit of a dance. I got really into my organization, but I also have some ribbon. I have different paints that I've gotten on sale or for discounted prices. I enjoy going to Dollar Tree and seeing which tools they have. I also have some hot glue, like a hot glue gun. There are a lot of different techniques and challenges that you can use a hot glue gun for, and I'd love to experiment with that. I've seen a lot of different artist styles, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to play around with it. I don't really have just one medium that I use. I have some that I lean to when I'm just kind of want something to do easily, and that tends to be markers or watercolor. However, I love experimenting. If you couldn't tell with the ceramics, the resin, the linoleum, I really enjoy increasing my artistic knowledge and trying to spread my wings. I find different things. I think my style or my compositions or my subjects of my pieces tend to stay very much the same, but it's kind of fun to see that style or my artistic style be in multiple different medias. So, don't let yourself be limited to one particular type of medium just because it's the first one you tried. In fact, I think beyond just kind of sketching with a pencil, I think the first medium I actually tried with an artistic purpose was acrylic paints, and I was never really happy with it. I am now because I have some more experience, but when I first tried it out, it just did not work well for me, and I can explain that more in another video. But don't limit yourself. Let your wings kind of spread and have fun trying different pieces, and it doesn't have to be expensive to try different media. You can always go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and look for when things are on discounts and try them out that way, or stores like Dollar Tree or Five Below. Those kind of stores sometimes will have discounted or a little bit less expensive materials and they're a great way to try something. And then if you figure out you like a particular medium, such as gouache, then you can kind of invest more and more with it as you go out. But don't limit yourself. It's never good to do that. Here, as I wrapped up my organization, I know the table still has things on it, but I felt like I finally had my cart finished and the last remaining things just needed to be put in other storage. I wasn't going to be actively using them. And then I decided later on in the day, why not practice a little bit of sketching? I recently joined Skillshare, and so far I'm amazed by it. I still have only done a few classes, but I'm really looking forward to exploring it more, trying to learn more about different skills. Something that I struggle with a lot is just my ability to sketch the human anatomy. So I have saved numerous classes about the human anatomy, and here I just wanted to watch one about creating a dynamic character by Patricia Caldera. And for her, this particular class, she is just showing how to do the mouth and how to draw the mouth, different things for expression, what about the chin, etc., male, female. And I really enjoyed this. She went step by step. These were some other sketches I had done earlier in the day, and this was exactly what I needed. And something that she did that I had never even thought of doing was kind of creating a grid and using that grid to space out your different examples, and then you could use that as a reference when you're doing character drawings, so you can go back and you've got your reference. And I think that's amazing. I would love to get into illustration someday. It's a dream of mine, one of my big goals in life as an artist. And being able to now have this in my sketchbook as something I can go back and look at, and I've made little notes here and there on the side, is extremely helpful. And so not only was this class extremely helpful, but I'm really looking forward to doing more with Skillshare. I highly recommend y'all check it out. They do a 30-day free trial, and then afterwards you can pay either monthly or like a year lump sum. I ended up doing the year lump sum because it was a goal of mine to watch a couple classes every week and really practice my skill. I tend to not. I forget to do my sketchbook, but it's so therapeutic, and to be able to have someone explain the process step by step really helps me get through my artist block. So I highly recommend. I'm not sponsored by them. I would love to at some point, but just starting out my YouTube channel right now, this is just something, a tool that I found very helpful, and I'd love to share with y'all, and look forward to doing some more classes with it. So here they're doing different expressions just with the mouth in general, and ignore my stickers on the side. I finished up a sketchbook and we'll hopefully do a sketchbook tour soon. But here I do just kind of a quick review of what we did in the class, and you'll see that grid process through. But This was extremely helpful, and I look forward to doing more classes and learning more about the human anatomy.